From 13 ABC, Conklin and Company, with 13 ABC Action News anchor Lee Conklin. First, with what's happening behind the headlines. And Take 3, our panel of political analysts.
Morning, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Conklin and Company. Today on the program, what will he write about when the Toledo mayor's race is over? Keith Burris, the new Blade columnist, has been all over that since the beginning, and we'll talk about the race for mayor with Keith a little bit later on in Take 3, with just over 2 weeks now before voters do go to the polls here in Toledo and throughout the state of Ohio. Also, the organization coming to you for help on November 5th. We're going to talk about the levy on the ballot for the Lucas County the Lucas County Board of Developmental Disabilities with the Superintendent John Trunk. But first, the mayor's race, not Toledo, but the city of Oregon. Incumbent Mayor Mike Safarian wants to keep the job. Challenger City Council President Thomas Souser would like to have the job. And they both join us in studio this morning for Conklin and Company. Good to see both of you. Mayor Safarian, once again, good to see you. And Tom Souser, nice to have you on the program, Tom. Thank you for coming in. This is interesting because looking at this race from my perspective, I think there was a quote, Tom, from you where you said, somebody asked how we're doing. I said, well, we're doing pretty good, but we could do better. Exactly. So I'm going to ask you to elaborate on that first of all, okay? We're doing pretty well.
We are doing well, but we can always do better. And the doing better part, I was in government for 8 years, and then I was out for 20. Businessman, local businessman in the community, and I'm watching for 20 years, and I see major missed opportunities for the city to entice and enhance frontline commercial development.
Like one, give us one.
Like widening Route 2, one end to the other. Our community does not have an identity. We started as a township. We could have given our community an identity by simply utilizing a streetscape and doing some things to help development, moving water lines to the side for serviceability, burying overhead primary lines, new street lighting. We could have done that when we tore up Route 2 from one end to the other, but we did nothing. We left the old water line in the middle of the road, and now it's an expensive problem every time a business wants to come to town.
You say a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Mayor Safarian, answer to that, and what you've been able to do since you became mayor 4 years ago.
Well, any of those things Mr. Souser just mentioned happened well before my tenure as mayor. So there were some minor things there, but anytime when you say that you're doing real well, but you could do better, I believe that too. We strive to do better every day that we come to the office. We have made some great strides in the businesses, mainly industry, that we brought to the city of Oregon, and we believe that a foundation is what we really need. So if we can develop some of the things that we were lacking, like we have in our retail district, we have to set that foundation solidly in place before we can get people to come in and hope that they'll survive once they get there. So we thought we'd play to our strengths. And I use the word we because it's been a team effort of my administration to see to it that we get these things done.
All right, what do you hang your hat on, though, Mayor? You said you've done a lot of things since you came in. What do you point to? Industry? I mean,
the major industry, we had a lot of work come to BP Husky, but that was going to come regardless to who was in office. But to go out and attract the $850 million power plant that's coming to our city was something that our city administrator, Mike Beasley, and I consciously took the effort to go out after, and that's something that we brought. We knew that if we could come in.
Did the city council president have anything to do with that?
That was before he was in office.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
so it was roughly a little over 3 years ago. He came into office 2 years ago. So we actually kept that under wraps for a while to see to it if it was going to be a good fit for our city. Once we come to believe it would be, we shared that with the city council, and it's come in to be what it is today and nearly ready to break ground. And actually, this company is talking about doubling the size of that to make
nearly
it
$1 billion.
Over $1 billion
okay.
Investment.
And that is something to point to. Thomas Souser, I guess when I look at Oregon, it's a great city. City on the bay. You have industry. You have land. You have beautiful parks. You have Pearson Park, and there's Maumee Bay, and it's just it really is, I think, a unique city here in Northwest Ohio. So, what are the most important things that you think you bring as mayor that Michael Safarian hasn't done in 4 years?
Well, what we do is we need to look at the quality of life issues that keep our family here. The wake-up call for me was when one of my children said, you know, we don't have the quality of life issues. We're looking elsewhere. We may be moving away. That distressed me tremendously. And if you look around, we've let our recreation department go stagnant. We don't do the quality of life things that we need to do. We need to enhance and revitalize our recreation department.
Let it go stagnant. I mean, you have a great park out there, the rec center, you got the bike trails, so what do you mean?
Rarely not utilized to its fullest extent. Recently, with this council, we have been able to bring forward a $500,000 worth of investment at the soccer facility for a new restroom and new concession stand facility. And then having those amenities, then shaping your recreation department so that you can actually utilize it for an economic development tool, bringing tournaments to town, I follow my grandkids all over Northwest Ohio to different sporting events. We need to bring those sporting events to our community so that those dollars can come to our community.
An economic generator. Right?
Economic generator for sure.
Yeah. What about, speak to that if you can, Mayor, and also how important, and we hear in every election that jobs are important. Well, you mentioned industry. As far as employment goes in the city of Oregon, where are you now compared to 4 years ago?
Where are we now?
As far as employment goes. You mentioned industry coming in.
4 years ago, we were seeing some of the hardest economic times the city of Oregon ever faced. And so we had the plan for that concession stand to take place in our South Recreation Complex then, but we were trimming nearly, a little more than $1 million out of our operation budget. Didn't think it was the right time to build a $500,000 concession stand when we were asking employees not to take a raise that year, asking every departmental head to cut back 15% so that we could live within our means, which we did do. We did meet our means, and then as soon as it was at the right time when we were seeing our revenues come up, which they are up to the levels that they were in like 2007 when they were doing real well, we chose to go forward and introduce the concession stand, the $500,000 improvement out there. And so timing is very, very important, especially when you're dealing with the sensitivity of employees, the sensitivity of the public. You know, they expect you to be financially secure with their money, and that's something I take very serious, and I always do. The security of the future of the city is more important to me than the security of it right now, because the future is definitely coming. You
mentioned the security. You went out and hired a high-profile police chief.
Yeah.
You got him from the city of Toledo. Is the city of Oregon a safe city which to live, Thomas Hooser?
It is most assuredly a safe city, and was before Chief Navarre was there, will be after Chief Navarre was there. We've always had great pride in our safety services. Our volunteer fire, or our paid for service fire department is part-time, but very, very trained, very skilled, and our police department is second to none. We solve a lot of crimes. We have both.
Okay, we have one minute left. I'm going to give you each 30 seconds to make your closing statements. Okay, well, Mayor Safarian, we'll start with you.
And I will go on, start off with the police department and say that in our city, we deal with crime by solving crime. Our department solves a lot of the crime that comes before it, and does it in a very quick manner. You see the crime report come up on your news show, and you'll see the people that have committed the crime show up in our courtrooms a short time later. So I take a great pride in it. Chief Navarre added to the leadership over there. We took a good leadership and made it better.
Mike Safarian, thank you. Thomas Hooser, you got 40 seconds to give us your final thoughts. Yeah.
We'll have a window of opportunity here. We'll have some additional funds. We need to step through the doors of opportunity as they approach. They're approaching now. Now's the time to develop our commercial aspect of our city. I have a plan and a direction to do that. We need to do it. We need to do it now while the window's here. We will be safer. We will be more trained and more skilled. because that's my focus.
Best of luck to both of you. Thank you for coming in. You got a great town over there. It is the city of Oregon, and Mayor Michael Safarian, City Council President Thomas Souser. Thanks so much for being on Conklin and Company.
Thank you.
Best of luck on November 5th to both of you. And we're going to be back in just a minute.